Hello there. Welcome to my show, COVID-19 update by Heerak for September 23rd, 2020. Yeah, it's National Checkers Day. Who doesn't like playing checkers, right? If you're American, you play checkers, as a kid, if you haven't, you should start so you don't miss out on a piece of American culture. Yeah, you're listening to some Latino music. Um, yeah, a lot of Latinos in Arlington, Alexandria, Foster, and Fairfax County. And as you know, I'm running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, which is Arlington, Alexandria, Foster, to Fairfax County. Yeah, so I thought, we'll look at Latin American figures. And you see that Brazil's number one. It's horrific what's going on right now in Latin America. It's a lot of death from COVID. My father gave me this shirt, because he's doing a lot of work in Latin America, establishing Presbyterian churches all over Latin America, Central America, South America, in Guatemala, Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Nicaragua. Yeah, so this is a shirt from all the work that my father and his friends are doing. One of the senior pastors in Philadelphia, Korean Presbyterian Church, my dad's denomination. He got a calling to be a missionary. So as soon as all three of his children went off to college, he told his church that he's going to go as a missionary for the rest of his life in Latin America to help establish the Presbyterian Church in Latin America. So he and his wife took off to spend the rest of their days. They have 40 more years to live or more. Um, yeah, so he took off as soon as three of his boys went to college. And he's hoping that they'll become ministers to join him in Latin America to establish the Presbyterian Church. But yeah, his church was shocked that they just took off to go to Latin America as missionaries to set up Presbyterian churches and train Latinos to be Presbyterian ministers. So, they started Christian seminary. And this shirt is a shirt that is part of their efforts. And my dad is the leader, obviously. Um, yeah, he runs in the family. So he's playing a vital role in starting Presbyterian churches all over Latin America. Um, yeah, but it's sad because right now, um, because of COVID-19, people are dying. My dad was in, where was that? Was it Nicaragua or was it Bolivia? Or I think it was Bolivia. Maybe it was Peru. Several Latino countries. I think he went to several places. I think like in February he was there. Um, you know, uh, Working with missionaries who went from all over the world. And this is a missionary effort of the Korean Presbyterian Church International. Yeah, and obviously all the clergy in like Bolivia are Bolivians, they're not Koreans. Missionaries who went there are Koreans, but they convert Bolivians and then appoint them as leaders. And then, they try to get more and more Bolivians to go to seminary and be trained to become ministers. So it's a holistic program. They're trying to start um, colleges, uh, high schools, middle schools, elementary, kindergartens. And I come in because, it's already there. They're working hard first with the Christian work, and I come in to start hospitals and nursing schools. As you know, I'm an RN, registered nurse in Virginia, and also a registered nurse in Washington, D.C. So I have two nursing license. And the license in Virginia is multi-state, so I can practice as a RN nurse in like some 30 states in the United States. As you know, I'm a clinical um, nurse leader, CNL, and so I am a leader of nurses. you know, so yeah, so the holistic plan was I would eventually start the hospital and nursing schools that are kind of tied to the Christian church and Christian church missions all over Latin America. So each country would have one. Um, so, the first stage is always the church. You plant the churches, you plant the seminaries. That's the very first stage, right? You plant the church first, and then you plant the seminaries, you train the pastors, and then you start Christian colleges, and then you start, generally Department of Education to produce, teachers, um, for Christian schools, because generally missions work often establishes Christian schools, and then hospitals come. And so yeah, so I have grand vision. Those of you who are interested in Christian work, Christian missions work in Latin America, just email me. If you feel God is calling, we have very important infrastructure set up in many Latino countries, and we're constantly expanding. So, if you're willing to spend the rest of your life as a full-time missionary in Latin America, whether you're Latino or Korean or white or black, it doesn't matter. Just email me. And if you're worthy and if you pass the test, we can send you out as a leader. Uh, we probably have to train you first, but send you out to one of these Latin American countries. Yeah, so if God's calling, just let me know. As you know, I'm independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th district. But my motto is bring America back to God. So I'm running under the ticket of I'm independent, but I'm thinking about starting a political party, and it would be American Christian Party. I don't know. That's my working name right now for my party. Germany has a Christian Democratic Union, CDU. Many countries have a Christian party. So I think it's about time that we start one in America. So I'm thinking about putting Christian distinctively in the name of the political party to be something like Democratic Christian Union, CDU. I'm copying from the Germans. Das deutsche Volk. Germans gave us a lot of good things. So, hey, I'll anglicize it, call it Democratic Christian Union, DCU. It even sounds good, DCU. 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 Yeah. So, that's one of the things that I'm praying about. And let's see if God wants me to start a new political party. And if the name Democratic Christian Union, it sounds good, we'll do that. Obviously the political party will be dedicated to bringing America back to God. As you know, 100% of Latinos are Christians, or 99.9% are Christians. But some have kind of fallen away from faith. So, the my denomination is capitalizing on the disenfranchised, disenchanted. We work mostly actually with the Aborigines, meaning, like in Brazil, you have the Amazon forest, and they're Aborigines, and they're not really Christians. They're Aborigine tribes, So, we evangelize them, train them as missionaries, send them out as ministers. In India, we target Muslims, Hindus, but we predominantly work with the untouchables, people who the society have rejected and cast aside because they're either poor, they don't belong to the caste, or they have no power or wealth, and we go there, train them, make them into global leaders, in the Indian setting, and they become global leaders because the Indian we that we've trained. I go there and teach, train future ministers in India. They get ordained in the Indian Presbyterian denomination that we founded. Well, the pastors are basically all Indian, native, to the country, and some of them come and become pastors in Indian churches in America. Some of them go to like England and become pastors of Indian churches in England. And there are Indians everywhere. Indians, what I mean by Indians, they're native, not Native American Indians. They are immigrants from India. You know, uh, so they, so in a sense, they become global leaders. We trained them. We've been working and training Indian to be Christian clergy, leading Indian people for decades. So yeah, so they already have college of education. They don't have a nursing school yet. So I'm going to start it, obviously. That's where I come in. Why do you think I've been working so hard? Took out $200,000 loan to study at Georgetown University. My professors at Georgetown University know what I'm doing. I mean, it's no secret. I've told Professor Idioma Yerwan. I told, yeah, a whole loads of people. I think most, if not all, of my nursing professors at Georgetown know that I intend to have Christian ministry work tied to nursing, hospitals, and healthcare, equity access for the poor, but they will have to hear the gospel. Hey, healthcare treatment, you may not have to pay with cash, but you have to hear the gospel. Whether you accept the gospel or not, that's, you, if Holy Spirit moves you, you accept the gospel, you have to hear it. There's no free lunch. I mean, you don't have to pay for it, so it's technically free, but you have to hear the gospel preached, and you have to go to the mandatory Bible studies. It doesn't matter if you're Hindu, Muslim, because obviously the goal is to convert you from Islam to Christianity, Hinduism to Christianity, to convert you from Buddhism to Christianity. That's why we start hospitals. We don't start hospitals, just to save your life for free, right? I mean, we have donations from Christians all over the world to finance these hospitals, so you don't have to pay for it in India, or poor people in India, poor people in Guatemala, poor people in Bolivia. Hey, but we're gonna use them to be channels of the Christian gospel, So you do have to hear the gospel preaching and attend the mandatory Bible studies, and talk to the mandatory chaplains that are attached to the hospitals. These are the distinctively Christian hospitals run by Christian denominations for the sake of evangelization, Yeah, it's like the traditional model of hospitals that originally started by U.S. missionaries to like Asia, Korea, China, Japan, Americans have kind of lost their footing. American Christians have kind of lost their first love of Jesus. American Christians have lost their way. As you can see from America, the country is really messed up. People are getting divorced, the country is really seriously messed up. Why do you think I'm running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District? Because the United States is completely messed up. And you need Heerak Christian team to come and fix it. And you know that it's messed up. But it wasn't always that way. America used to be great. 100 years ago, it was a good Christian nation. Doing a lot of, they were explicitly Christian. Missionary boards, American social institutions, public services, soup kitchens that were distinctly Christian and share the gospel, and they prioritize that. But, Americans have gone far away from God, majority of them, unfortunately. So there's a reformation that is needed in America to bring American churches, American pastors back to God and the Holy Bible. Yeah, I mean, they're like way off from the gospel. Yeah, majority, I would say 90% of evangelical Christians are way off the Bible, way off the gospel. It's tragic. Um, when there is a departure from Christ, departure from the Holy Trinity, the whole nation goes down the tube, and that's what's happening in America. It's really sad, Um, but so As you know, I want to provide healthcare access in inner cities and also rural areas, and this is my long-term goal. And obviously, it will be distinctively tied to Christian churches, the ones that I found. So it's always going to be gospel first, healthcare second, because you survive 100 years and you go to eternal damnation in hell, I mean, geez, you got the short end of the stick. It's better to die early in America or in the world and then spend eternity in heaven. You agree? Yeah, I mean, I intend to spend eternity in heaven with God. I mean, that's far more important than anything the world can give me. Um, the most you're going to live is like 100 years, and then you die. If you want to spend eternity in hell being tortured by Satan, I don't think so. I mean, you got to answer that question yourself. But Brazil has 4,591,364 cases, 3% death rate, 138,105 deaths. Um, yeah, they didn't really have that many deaths in April. Just watch my episodes from April. And like suddenly they start having all these deaths in the summer. And then skyrocketed to what it is now. Unfortunately, Brazil will probably have a lot of people die in the flu season. Um, flu season is like from end of September, beginning of October to like April. It's like 6 months long. So yeah, a lot of people are going to die in Brazil. You'll probably have more than 1 million die in Brazil. Colombia is another country that will probably see a lot of deaths in the flu season. Um, yeah, 784,268 cases. It's not as bad as Brazil, but it's Colombia used to like have hardly any, deaths. It's 24,746, 3% death rate. Um, Peru, 776,546, 4% death rate. So 31,568 people have died. Yeah, it's horrific, Yeah, and it's spreading. They can't stop it. And they're not going to be able to stop it. As World Health Organization said, COVID-19 is forever. Um, yeah, it's like HIV. HIV is forever. Since we discovered HIV, it's been spreading 365 days a year, killing hundreds of thousands per year. Yeah, it's not stopping. It kills hundreds of thousands of people every year, HIV. So does hepatitis C virus. It kills hundreds of thousands every year. It hasn't stopped. For decades, it's killed hundreds of thousands every year. So COVID-19 is going to be like that, but you'll probably kill far more than 700,000. It'll probably be several million per year, every year. And it won't end, at the rate we're going. Um, yeah, it's tragic because every baby who's born can get infected with COVID-19. Everyone who hasn't been infected can get infected with COVID-19. But even those who have been infected can get infected again, as Dr. Fauci pointed out. You could be infected several times in a year. Yeah, most healthcare experts agree on that point after research. So if you had COVID-19 in March and survived, don't be celebrating yet because you may die before Christmas by getting another COVID. Yeah, it's going to be horrific. Peru has 776,546, as I said, 31,568. I just need to repeat that again because it's horrific. For those of you who are from Peru, there's a Peruvian-Mexican restaurant near here in where I live, a couple miles away, or less than a mile away, actually. Good food, yeah, it's sad. Um, Mexico, oh, that's number 2 in death in South America or Latin America. Mexico's in Central America. 705,263 cases. Death rate is at 11%, top sticks. Yeah, and 74,348 have died. It's sad, it's tragic, what can you say? In New York, you see the city of New York behind me. I'm predicting that at least 1 million people will die in New York in flu season, at least. This is a crowded city. There are a lot of Latinos in New York. You see all the Latinos dying in South America and Central America. You know, that means a lot of Latinos are going to die in New York. And I'm not saying something you don't know. Telemundo has been saying that for a long time. So it's like CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS, BBC, Sky News, Deutsche Welle, France 24, yeah, KBS, Korean Broadcasting System. Yeah, everybody's been saying a lot of Latinos are going to die. And obviously, a lot of Latinos are dying. Latinos have the highest percentage of death in America right now. So the adult people who get COVID and die, when you compare it to the total population of Latinos in America, they have the highest number of cases and deaths in America, percentage-wise, not number-wise, because obviously there are far more white people in America than Latinos, but yeah, a lot of Latinos are dying. Um, yeah, Argentina has entered number 5 a while ago, a few weeks ago, and their death is climbing. 664,799 cases. Fifth place in Latin America for cases. Um, yeah, it's pretty sad. 14,376 people have died. But you know, who are we to talk as America, right? And that's why I have New York behind me. You remember the good old days, you know, when New York was hopping and it's a happening place. Now everybody's running away from New York. Um, they had the highest sales of single homes in America in the summer because everyone's running away from cities, buying a single home in the suburb, listening to the advice of Heerak and Kim. Because I've been telling you, you're in an apartment complex, your chance of dying is far higher than if you live in a single home. So you've been listening to me in this show, moving out of your apartment or condominium and buying a house. You know, if I had the money, that's what I would do. You know, I don't have the money, so I am stuck in the apartment. I mean, you know, I mean, I like my neighborhood, but I don't want to put myself in unnecessary risk for COVID-19 death, right? I mean, God takes who He wants, but there's free will, and you can do what you can out of your free will to avert that. We don't know how exactly God's predestination works with human free will. My Bible says you have free will, so you have free will. But God also says God predestined, so God predestined. So one way to understand it is God is always outside of time. So we can't really understand God in terms of time. We understand past, present, future, but God is outside of time. I'm going to have some Dr. Pepper. Ah. They say Dr. Pepper is selling out. I don't know. I think people see me drink Dr. Pepper in this show and they just go and get it, you know. So that Dr. Pepper has been doing well. Um, yeah, America, you know, we have 1,220 deaths in 24 hours. It's horrific. That's a lot of people dying. In Virginia, we've been having dozens of people die every day. Virginia, this is coming to you from Virginia, Arlington, Virginia. We're gonna have at least 100,000 people die in Virginia, at least, at least. Um, I'm predicting far more than that, but you know the reason I tried to close down every single public school in Virginia's 8th district, where I'm running as an independent candidate for U.S. Congress, because I wanted you to live, you, my voters, people who I would represent if I'm elected as U.S. Congressman. I wanted you to live and not die. That's why I have tweeted for 3 months. You just go and look at all my tweets. I kid you not. I tweeted for 3 months. I tweeted and tweeted Arlington County government, Fairfax County government, Alexandria City government, uh, um, Falls Church city government. I've been tweeting for like 3 months straight, every day, trying to get them to close down the public schools. I've been tweeting Arlington County Public Schools, Alexandria City Public Schools, Fairfax City Public Schools, or Fairfax County Public Schools, and Falls Church City Public Schools to close the schools down for 3 months. Just go and read my text from Heerak for Congress, Heerak number 4 Congress. That's how much I love you. I care about you guys. I don't want you to die. I don't want your children to die. Unfortunately, if you live in an apartment, your chance of dying is still existing. So what I'm recommending is keep your children home inside, like a cat. Don't you know? If you're gonna walk your children, um, make sure they have a mask on. You just have to be very careful. Make sure you don't let them out of your sight. Don't let them play with their friends. Um, that's how you're gonna survive COVID for 6 months. Oh, flu season. No, you're not having a video problem. Um, I slowed down my speed just to emphasize that point. 6 months, 6 months of flu season. But I want you to survive. Can I get a 5 on surviving COVID-19? Give me a 5. Can I get a 5 on surviving COVID-19? You have to keep your children inside like cats, like domesticated cat. Um, yeah, make sure you get a treadmill, exercise bike, you know, uh, things to entertain your children. Make sure they get exercise, rent some videos for yoga or, something that doesn't make much noise, but, they get exercise. Yeah, you have to plan as a father or mother if you want your kids to survive for 6 months. If you want to survive for 6 months, because your children can get COVID and give it to you and you could die from it. So yeah, you just have to kind of rearrange your schedule, rearrange your household, make some new rules to survive COVID-19. That's where I come in. I give you good advice. You follow it, you survive. But yeah, America is headed for a massive death. As you know, I'm Heerak give independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, and I'm predicting that, you know, uh, minimum 3 million people will die in America in flu season. That's only 60,000 people dying in every state. 50 states, 50, you have 3 million people dead. Look at the numbers in Mexico. 74,000 dead already. It's doable. 60,000 dying in every state is doable. Over the flu season, that's 6 months long. That's only 10,000 average dying per month. As you know, New York City had, and you see the city behind me, right? New York, 30,000 people die in 1 month. 6 months, that's like 30,000 times 6. That's like 180,000, right? But remember, 30,000 died during the tail end of flu season. Now we're going to have beginning to end with the peak. At the height of flu season, you could have 200,000 dying in New York State alone. So yeah, that's coming, New York. Governor Andrew Cuomo, sorry to tell you, but that's coming. Um, Mayor de Blasio, it's coming. You know it's coming. I mean, if you studied science at all, you know it's coming. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be horrible. Oh, since we are, kind of celebrating Latino stuff, I thought, I would, share some photos. I've shared them before, but just to get into the mood and, nostalgic look back. Some Latino ladies, um, from Cambridge. We have formal hall dinners where you kind of semi-formal, formal hall dinners. You dress up and, have a nice meal and, have some party afterwards. And yeah, it was nice to, it's always nice to talk to beautiful women. I'm not gonna lie. I'm single. I've never been married. I don't have children, and I'm praying to God I'll find somebody, some good Christian to marry. Who knows? It's God's will. I'll meet and then I'll marry, right? So yeah, but yeah, God knows I'm trying. you know. Yeah. So yeah, so I like beautiful women because God created them. Beauty is created by God. Um, I wanted to cheer you up because I know you're stuck in this country. You can't go to Europe. You can't see the things that I've seen. So I thought, I'll cheer you up with some photos from the past, blasts from the past, COVID-19 world, all the things you may miss. And if you die before Christmas, You're gonna die not being able to see this in real life. Um, and since today is a play chess day, I said, do you play chess? Me? I prefer Finland travel. I've been to Finland a few times. I like Finland. I like their food. I mean, you think the food is same everywhere. It's not like that. Finnish food is different from like Swedish, Danish, and Norwegian. So when we talk about Scandinavian countries, generally it's Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. Finland is technically not, well, it gets counted in with, like Scandinavian countries. And there's a debate about whether it's a Scandinavian country or not. Some say Finnish language is not really that close to Scandinavian languages. Like, if you speak Swedish, you may understand Norwegian and Danish. Vice versa, you mix them up. But Finnish, from what I understand, is more like Hungarian. Yeah, so the language group is not Scandinavian, from what I understand. I'm not an expert of Scandinavian languages, but that's what I understand. I tell you the disclaimer. Obviously, I'm going to be honest with you. But if your language group is more like Hungarian, then obviously they're probably racially more Hungarian than Scandinavian. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about Scandinavian past, but Scandinavians are beautiful. Finnish people are beautiful. Every Finnish people that I met, I liked. you know, uh, although there are quite a number of blonde people. I went to Finland. I backpacked through Finland when I was younger. I hooked up with this girl. Um, she's, I think, yeah, she's like 18. She said she was 18. So I hooked up with her. She's 18. And we saw Finland together. Um, yeah, girls like me. So, and she was pretty, I thought. She's not, I prefer blonde, blue-eyed women, but, she's pretty and, you know, she was the prettiest person in the boat. No, I mean, yeah, we actually met at the boat, and then we spent time together in Finland. Um, yeah, it was fun. It was like the boat is not a tour boat. It's like I think it's a boat that went over from is it Denmark or Sweden to Finland. So, so I think she was actually Sweden. Yeah, and it was her first time in Finland as well. So, I was glad to have fun, with her. Um, yeah, you know, um, you know, but yeah, the church over there, the white church, right below the Georgetown University pro-life, right to life flag there with the heart. Um, yeah, they're famous for that in Finland. Really pretty church. It's pretty inside. They have a market, and you see the photo of the market above the church. It's kind of tiny photo. Maybe you can blow it up. You have a big TV screen. You can see the details. Um, yeah, the market is nice. That's where I had a lot of food. She and I, we tried different Finnish food, and they have like a lot of like dumpling stuff. I mean, I should ask Mila about it. Mila Ritiko. She she's a core member. One of the 25 who who graduated on August 24th, 2020, with me and our fellow cohort 2020 Georgetown Clinical Nurse Leader CNL members. Hey, I want to congratulate all of us. CNL 2020, yay! CNL. Congratulations to you, Nila. Congratulations to you, Lena. As you know, Lena is German. Nila is like, well, they're like all Americans, obviously, but originally, Nila is like her parents are from Finland. So I think she's like 100% Finnish, racially. And Lena is like 100% German. I'm 100% Korean. So we have that in common. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. CNL 2020. Oh, we have several other people in our CNL 2020 Georgetown cohort who are 100% one race. Like a Sheila Jiwani from Atlanta, Georgia. She is a Muslim Indian and she is 100% Indian, racially Indian, like from India. Yeah, for 5,000 years. So she's 100% Indian. I'm 100% Korean. Lila is like 100% Finnish. Lena Knorr is 100% German. Who else is there? Yeah, there's a Korean girl, Sarah. Sarah Han is also 100% Korean. So there are two people who are 100% Korean, me and Sarah. Uh, who else is like 100%? I wonder, yeah, I'm not sure. I think that those are the only ones I'm 100% sure that we are 100% like one race. We're pure breeds, purebreds. Anyway, CNL 2020. Yay to 25 of us who have graduated from Clinical Nurse Leader Program. Yay! Yeah, I was the first one to pass NCLEX RN exam. We graduated on August 24, 2020. I took my NCLEX RN exam on August 31st, 2020. Passed with sky high flying colors. Um, yeah, I think that was the quickest in the history of Georgetown University, like someone taking an NCLEX 1 week later and passing. So, yeah, hey, what can I say? Yeah, so, yeah, I worked hard, you know, uh, Virginia Hospital Center is very lucky to have me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come to Virginia Hospital Center if you get COVID-19. Come to Virginia Hospital Center if you get a stroke, heart attack, if you have like fever, and our pregnancy, mother baby, it's like one of the best in America in 2020. So yeah, if you're pregnant, yeah, get your maternity assessments and have your baby at Virginia Hospital Center. Yeah, they good care of you. So people are really nice, Virginia Hospital Center. Food is good, I get my 25% employee discount. So I enjoy eating discounted food. The food is really good, today I had the parpia dish. It was really well prepared, I like good fish. It's hard to prepare, so I don't get to eat fish much at home. So, it was a treat to eat fish today. Yeah, it's great to have good food in the hospital. Um, yeah, so and the tables are like socially distanced, 6 feet from each other, which is kind of funny. Yeah, so one person per table kind of thing. Um, yeah, so I took off my mask to eat. You know, everybody had took off mask to eat. But somebody should create a mask for eating purposes. I think that would be a good way to go. Um, and one of the great things is Virginia Hospital Center has high ceilings, so but um, yeah, but nice music, I like Latino music. Yeah, I miss Finland. I miss Scandinavia. I wonder if maybe I goes to Finland often. I used to go to Korea often, when I was younger. My dad goes every year, sometimes more than once a year. Like a lot of Koreans in America, they go to Korea often. Um, the old country. Um, yeah, but yeah, it's I love Europe. I wanna actually retire in Europe if I can. I'm thinking, after fruitful life, maybe I'll retire like in Cambridgeshire, teach some Jewish courses, and but it rains a lot in England, so I don't know if it's a good place to retire though. Because like it's nice in England when you're young, but I don't know if it's nice when you're old because it rains a lot. Maybe I'll retire in Florida, because I like the sun, I like the beach. I'm Asian, so I mean, I guess I could technically get skin cancer, but it's not very easy to get skin cancer as an Asian. So Florida is like sounding good. Maybe teach, some courses at FSU, Florida State University. You know, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, life is too short. I mean, I may not retire. Joan Rivers had it right. She didn't retire. She did her show until she died in well into 90s. So yeah, you'll see me like doing nursing work or teaching nursing or writing about nursing research all the way until I die, like hopefully around 100 years old. you know. uh, yeah, but anyway, yeah. I mean, if COVID-19 for some reason goes away, which probably won't happen, but if it does, make sure you visit Finland. I mean, I would take like maybe if you order, just take a cruise around Scandinavia that hits like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and Estonia. All of those places have something to see. People are really nice. Food is, similar in Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, but different in Finland, different in Estonia. So, I think you'll enjoy it. Estonia's dish has been influenced by Russian cuisine. So you have that blending as well. Yeah, I enjoy eating the food whenever I go to a new country. Um, I've been looking for like a Finnish restaurant in Bridges 8th District. I don't need to have one. I should ask Neela. She probably knows all this stuff. Um, yeah, oh well, next time I see her, I'll ask her, I guess. Um, yeah, but and Lena, I mean, I know the German restaurants because I love Germany. So I've kind of identified German restaurants in DC and Virginia's 8th District. So I probably don't have to ask Lena about that. As you know, I'm alumnus of University of Heidelberg. I get their stuff. Um, yeah. Uh, I did research in Jewish studies at University of Heidelberg. So yeah, I get their stuff. Um, yeah. So but anyway, yeah. Maybe I'll bring you some photos from Heidelberg. Maybe I'll find some photos of my girlfriends from Heidelberg University. They're really pretty. I think you like them. But anyway, yeah, that's for another time. But yeah, so I'm glad that you tuned in today. Yeah, I hope you'll be well and that your family will be well. And tune in again tomorrow for another exciting episode of COVID-19 Update by Heerak. See you tomorrow. Bye.